Morning, folks. Here we are at the Ivan Files again, and we got some things we're going to talk about today. I hope you sent me some emails if you have time to do it, or even if you don't have time to do it, send me some emails, and that's at the Ivan 1933 at gmail.com.
Look at you go.
Cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
Heck of an email address.
Pretty loud.
What was
That's-
that? Oh,
What is that? We get an
We're-
email?
We're updating computers, folks. Get
Oh.
ready for a virtual show, and
Oh yeah,
didn't anticipate that to pop off.
it's all right. We're still doing virtual shows, so
Anyway.
that's
Yeah, we
great.
are.
what,
was just an email.
what I had spotted on Economy, which we began to get, the Economist magazine, which we began to get last week, was that Cargill had an ad in there. Cargill, if you don't know who they are, if you're driving down the gorge, you'll see these large grain elevators, these big round things that are, yeah, and you'll see Cargill on there.
Oh.
They're a huge supplier. They get wheat, and I don't know if they get corn or whatever. But anyway, their estimate is that by the end of the year, 800 million people are hungry. So,
Every year?
probably, well, probably it fluctuates, I would guess. But that was the ad. That we were supposed to look at the ad. Anyway, that's what I took. And I'm sure there is, like the Economist produces a magazine type thing every year that has all kinds of information on it, including who's doing well, who isn't doing well, and how many people are in there, the population and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I imagine that's a pretty hard number to come to, right?
Yeah.
Like you'd really have. It'd really be interesting to see how they came across that number of 800 million people are hungry at the end of the year. Like, what kind of surveys are they doing to like arrive at that number?
Well, they must be coupling up with the food banks.
I was
And-
gonna say, and where are all of these are these people in third world countries? Are they in first, second, and third world countries? Where are these people from? Is it all related to this food supplier, or I don't? Yeah.
do you know, Dad, if this is 800 million people
Worldwide.
worldwide?
Yeah,
Worldwide.
yeah.
Well, there's a couple of countries that have some real big issues
Yeah.
with food shortage.
This is true.
Ours is one of them, but ours is fixable. We just
800 million couldn't be this country.
no.
There's only 330 million.
That's why I was confused by the number. I was like,
Yeah, but that's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. It's like
So
one-
what do we do about it? What is to be done about it?
well, I'll start. I always have thought, food insecurity is a shocker for me. With the amount of food that we throw away.
Huh?
I'm just looking at our country. And if you go to a restaurant and you order biscuits and gravy, for example, or you order an omelet,
Or a steak?
or a steak, whatever, you can't finish most of the food, right?
Because our portion controls are out of control. Out
Portion-
of control.
Portion controls are out of control. I mean, seriously, it'd be better to give somebody a small portion and then just say on the menu, if you're still hungry, well, if this portion wasn't big enough, we'll give you more. But instead, you end up throwing it away. But I guess my take on because we see it with Heather and Kayla. It's at their school. These kids that during the summertime are hungry compared to when they are in class at school, they're fed.
So we should get rid of Summers? Is that what
So
I'm
we
hearing
should
you
get rid
say?
of Summers.
I hate that idea.
No,
Veto.
definitely not. But I wonder why we don't put feeding people at the top.
Well, the
Don't know how you solve that.
the children are fed at school just lunch? Or are they
No, there's a breakfast program
breakfast
there.
program?
And they send, and there's also a program at their school that they can take, weekend
Yeah.
food home.
On Fridays, they send home food bags.
Yep.
Like big 2.5 gallon bags of food with
Yeah.
like non-perishable foods.
And then I know that
Yeah.
during the summer, or at least last year, I think, I don't know if they're doing it this summer, there's also, you can go and pick up
Yeah.
at that location. But you know, to me, it's like, you know, you've got all these problems in the world, you've got all of this political shit, you got all this stuff, and yet the simplest thing, feeding people,
But that's the heart of the problem. Feeding people is political.
feeding people is political.
Well-
How crazy is that?
Isn't that crazy?
You know, the pyramid, you guys recall from school,
The food pyramid?
the pyramid
Oh, I'm at the top of the food chain, man.
of needs
Mm-hmm.
and
Three
how-
squares.
how it goes from the bottom to the top, and the bottom is the widest, the biggest. Well, that's food security.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, actually breathing, but, you know, that's taken for granted, but, and then it works its way up to,
Mhm.
you know, maybe counseling somewhere up there, or, you know, something. Anyway, near the top of the pyramid, I forget all the places, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah, yeah.
Food, shelter.
Are you cheating over there?
Am I cheating?
No,
Am I cheating? No, I'm not
Cheating.
cheating.
no.
Not yet. Not yet.
He just knows
Well, you
that one.
remember that, that's good.
Yeah.
That's real good,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like shelter, food.
Yeah.
It's like the basic needs of a human
The
being.
top is what, enlightenment
Uh-huh.
or something like that?
Is it?
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
technology, cell phones. is
Well,
at
what
the
do
very
you
top.
think the answer is to solving that problem?
World hunger?
Well,
Politically.
That's basically what we're talking about,
It's basically
right?
what
I
we're
mean, it's
talking
world
about.
hunger. Like, you know, you talk about the waste at a restaurant. The problem with that is, like, if a half-eaten steak goes
not a
thrown
problem with
away,
it.
well, you can't relocate that to Vietnam. You know what
That's
I mean?
true,
If there's
it's
a hunger
perishable.
family in Vietnam, you throwing away steak here isn't going to matter because you can't get that steak to Vietnam.
But
Right.
how many hungry people
Yeah.
are there in the United States?
often.
Within a mile of range.
More than
radius of
anybody would
them.
like to admit, but I
Yeah.
think that, like, the hunger rate would be far lower in America than it would be in a third world country, I would imagine.
Yeah. I would
Well,
well,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we can.
Well,
we got the
hold
compute.
on.
different kinds of foods and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
But then it becomes even, I don't know, and then you get into a whole other set of issues because we're feeding people food that is not good for you. So then you're fighting obesity. And then you're
Ultra
fighting
processed food.
and you're feeding people, and other countries don't necessarily have that just because they have different regulations on food. And so what is the right answer here? There is no right answer.
I mean, that's a super interesting thought too, because it's way cheaper to make stuff that is processed for the companies.
Mm-hmm.
So they are going to be able to produce more food if it's ultra processed. Less people are hungry, but it's not as healthy. For
I think
you.
we're being fed that. Because you know what? I think we're being fed that. I do. I think
don't
that
know
we
about
could
that.
we could create better food if we really wanted to without the processing.
But at the end of the day, this comes back to capitalism. Like, there's a reason that Cheetos sell better than bananas. And the
Well,
reason is because
yeah,
Cheetos
right.
taste far better than bananas.
Do
So
they?
when somebody,
It depends on how your taste buds have been matured.
Cheetos and chips have been genetically, or not genetically, but they've been engineered to taste as good as they can, so you continually want more and buy more of them,
If you're eating
right?
them.
So when the cattle
you're
go
eating
into
them.
the grocery store, they are going to choose what tastes best. That's just how it is. That's
If that's
why
what you can
sugar.
afford.
What if you were to retrain the mind of people to not
Well, if
to
some butts
feed
were
the
candies
body
and
as-
nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
No, I know.
But if you get to walk in and you can spend $1 on an apple or $1 on a candy bar,
I'm going to buy the apple.
you are.
But a lot of people wouldn't.
But on average, people are not going to choose the apple.
But what if we
What kind
retrained
of candy
people to
bar?
choose the
But how
apple?
would you retrain people to do that? And them,
I don't know, Ellie.
I don't know, Ellie. I don't know.
I'm just making a suggestion.
I agree with you. I'm on that same wavelength, man.
Here's the thing.
I think people should eat better.
You're right.
Yes, we should feed our bodies better, but yet, to your point, it is way more expensive to eat better.
It is. You see in the grocery store. Like,
So-
go to Trader Joe's and then go to Walmart. If you put the same thing on your shopping list, I can almost guarantee you that Trader Joe's is going to be, what, 150% in terms of
But
the
so,
cost?
right, but then again, you're talking about so if you were to buy the same lettuce at Walmart that you were at Trader Joe's,
Okay.
wash them both,
Mhm.
right? You still have the same lettuce. But Trader Joe's has a
But-
tagline of healthier.
I'll just go live in a blue zone,
Just
and they can feed me in their blue zones, and I'll live until I'm like 80.
Well, they don't want us to eat better because they want our bodies to consume things that are carcinogens. They want our bodies to consume things
Yeah, and then
that
the
are
pharmaceutical
obese.
But
companies
see, I
make
take
more
issue with that.
money.
Yes.
They want. I don't think
Capitalism.
anyone is out here to poison America.
Yes, they are.
I do believe they
I
are.
Pharmaceutical
disagree.
companies,
There was.
Yes.
FDA,
There was-
Tyson
Yes.
chicken.
I think you have capitalism that is focused on the bottom dollar at the end of the day.
Which is making humans sicker.
But I don't think their motive is like we're gonna make people sick. I think their motive is like we're gonna make this as cheap and as effectively as we can.
Okay, let's go
And
back
the
to
aftermath of
conspiracy
that.
theory bullshit. And
Well,
what
no.
if the pharmaceutical companies are in bed with the food engineering companies?
They are.
They are!
They are.
I don't.
I
don't,
fully believe that.
There's no malice in that. I think we are in a situation where people were
Money.
incentivized
Pollyanna,
to
come
sell
on.
as much as they could.
Yes, by
in doing
making
so, they
people
cut
sicker.
corners, put chemicals in the food, and now you have this thing on the back end, which is the pharmaceutical.
So then stop doing if it's making people sicker, if that is the product of what you're trying to get at, why would you keep doing it?
So would you
Well-
rather people go hungry than eat that food?
Are people,
I would rather stop using pesticides.
are
It's
people
not
getting
that hard.
sicker, or are they getting better?
No, people are getting sicker.
People
eating the
are
food.
getting sicker. And, yeah,
There-
and
what's
Cancer
the
is more prevalent than it has ever
expectancy
been.
I
now?
believe that.
what is I
Yeah.
think the life expectancy now?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but we're not gonna talk about it because I'm 59.
Well, but
Yeah,
it's not even
well-
life expectancy, it's how many people are living without disease.
The what?
It's not about life expectancy necessarily, it's about how many people are living without disease. Because we have created technology,
Well,
pharmaceutical
doesn't that have to do
companies,
with life expectancy?
potentially, but life expectancy is different than life quality.
Oh,
Yes.
So if you are sick and you still live until you're 87,
yeah?
you're sick until you're 87. From like 67 to 87, you've been sick for 20 years, but you
Yeah.
live until that age because we have medications that suppress symptoms
Yeah?
that we got from eating the food that we were put in front of us. There's a difference in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm Team Ellie on this one.
So,
We're
the-
winning.
What are we agreeing
the
with?
thing to deal with hunger worldwide, I think, is to have something like the World Medical, what the hell they
The
call
World
it?
Health Organization?
Yeah, something like that, that has some influence, but it has to have influence on governments. And so, if you have an influence on a government about let's say, right foods, what are you talking about? When the government starts telling the growers and the wholesalers what they can sell.
Well, it's not, I don't think, okay, I hear what you're saying, but there's a program that I was on when I was pregnant with Denise. And then I was on it for the first year of her life, that I believe is a valuable program
It is.
that is different than food stamps. Food stamps are just this card, or I don't know what they call it today even, EBT or whatever,
It's
that you can
welfare.
go and buy shit on that. You can buy the Doritos, you can buy the pop, you can buy all this junk.
The healthy food's not covered.
The healthy,
Well, like
but
produce is,
WIC,
but some of it isn't.
WIC was what I was on. And I think if we really focused on the WIC program as opposed to this,
SNAP benefit. Oh, aren't they one and the same?
I don't know, but all I know is that when I was on WIC program, we got milk, cheese, rice, things that were sustainable, beef,
That's right.
chicken. We got those kinds of things.
But, at
But
that-
you couldn't buy Doritos, you couldn't buy
but at-
Twinkies.
But
you
at that
couldn't buy.
point, stuff was a lot more locally sourced than it is today,
I don't know. I mean,
right?
maybe.
I mean, you talk about Tyson. Tyson like has cornered the chicken market at this time. It's in every Costco across the nation.
Yeah, and
Like
they
if you choose
poison
not to
people.
eat Tyson, like good luck. But like it's because we're in this, like we're no longer eating like our locally sourced stuff that we
true.
were in the past.
Yeah, I don't.
And
I
then the
don't
problem
know.
with like the WIC and the government services of today is that it's all economics, right? So if you can take that $5 from WIC and you can get 4 bags of chips, or you can get 3 healthy chicken breasts, you're going to choose the thing that's going to allow you to sustain for a longer period of time.
Unless you weren't allowed to purchase those things on that. If you were working towards health of your country, you were working towards health of your communities, hey,
So
if
you're-
you're
so
under
whoa,
a,
so whoa,
you're
whoa,
under a
but
controlled
back to
program
Ivan's point.
anyway.
So now the government is going to say you're not allowed to choose this item to eat? You're gonna-
Yes.
Ooh, I feel like this is
Yes.
sticky wicket. I feel
I
like
was
if
on that
America
program.
comes in and
What do
says,
you
"Hey, you
call
can't
that?
eat this,"
I was
that-
on that
You're gonna have a
program.
lot of
You
people
call
that
that
are
North
upset. Yeah.
But you know what the thing
Oh,
is
what?
it
North
gave
Korea.
me the drive. It gave me the drive to better myself instead of just constantly putting. I'm not a huge supporter of long-term food help. I am a supporter of
Well, yeah, you don't want people to be on welfare for their entire lives.
no, and you give them if they get their government cheese. I always think of Jessica when I hear that, but
Yeah,
if you
like
get government
tons.
cheese and you get your rice and you get your beans and you get your
Right.
things and bread to
Right.
make it viable food, they actually included vitamins when I was there. I got vitamins, I got milk, I got all that stuff.
So
Eggs,
So then the answer is probably education.
education.
And-
Is what?
Education. And then, continuing
No.
education and early education of healthy, nutrition. I don't know, I'm a huge supporter of food. I love food, and I love healthy food nutrition.
Yeah,
Can't tell by
that's
looking
good.
at me. But,
If you
love,
could
No.
pass that on to other people, say inside about 20 years, it might work.
yes, so if you start when they're babies, when you should start with early train, and then it's going to be hard because you've got children who are low income with parents who are living off of food stamps, who are feeding their children Doritos when they go home, and these kids are learning these things have bad things for you, and then it's going to be, if there has to be a curve somewhere, and I think it has to start, and that's the hard part, it has to be almost
Yeah.
like government mandated, like health class.
Yeah,
Well-
Like,
but my
You
Yeah.
call it socialism is what you're talking about.
which I
I don't think it's.
will not say that.
Yeah.
I will not say anything about that at this
Yeah.
moment.
I will say that this generation of parents, you guys, do a far better job than my generation of parents did. But then my parents did a far better job than this gen. This generation is the one that kind of effed it up, to be honest with you.
We got
Because-
heard it here first, folks.
Well, it's true. As far as food goes, we were raised on meat and potatoes and bacon and eggs and all the
Yeah.
good things and green beans and this that
Butter,
canning and all that, right?
Raw
And then
milk.
this generation went into the fast
Like fast food.
fast because we believed that our parents had menial income. We had to go and do, so we had to have the busy. So our food, and I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about my generation. We were get it done fast, get it done, because we got to work, we got to make the money, we got to have things. So then your generation came aboard and you saw that and you slowed down a little bit and worked differently and started feeding your children better than we fed our
I
children.
mean, I feel like you're giving a lot of, you're giving the next generation a lot of credit. I think it's all based on economics, right? I mean, I think back when you were a younger individual, the food just came from a different place and it was locally sourced. And if you needed beef, you wouldn't go to like Walmart. You would go to the butcher or you'd go to the local grocery store, and it was just sourced differently.
Yeah, what's
Then
like-
when you came along,
Mr.
that was
Brown's
like,
store for 10 cents, they get a loaf of bread.
yeah, I mean, why is Betty Crocker a household name? Betty Crocker is a household name because it was so difficult for people to actually figure out how to throw together flour and eggs and all this different stuff in their kitchen and present a cake. That was a headache for a lot of individuals that manage the home, right? When Betty Crocker comes out, she says, add 2 cups, add 2 cups of flour, 2 eggs, and some milk, and you'll have a cake in 2 hours.
You need baking soda and baking
And Betty
powder, too.
Crocker
And
became a
vanilla.
household name
Yeah.
because that had never been done before. No one had ever said this is how easy it is to create. Boom, she blows up and she's a household name for everybody for a reason, right?
True.
And that happened in all of these different industries. So when you came up, it wasn't like the ignorance, it was just what you did because that's what people were doing,
Yeah.
right?
The trend.
But that, agreed.
Yeah.
100% agree with you. But that, you saw how you were fed and you loved your childhood. I'm not saying you didn't. My kids, same thing, all 5 of them. However, now they see what they don't want for their children. And does that hurt me a little bit? But in a good way, right? That means, oh, my kids didn't necessarily like what I fixed them growing up. And so they're changing that more. They have more fruits and vegetables. They have more of this, they have more of that. You could take that as a dig, or you could say, damn, they saw what they didn't want, which is how generations work.
Yeah.
We see what we don't want, and we apply it to our families,
I can-
and then that, it just keeps going.
You may feel like you're somewhat responsible for the way that like upbringing came. We are going to see that. My generation will see that in terms of the screens.
Yes.
We are going to look back in 30 years and say, what the heck were we thinking giving every one of our kids a screen?
Absolutely.
That is going to be our biggest regret as
Yeah.
a generation. I
That and
can
AI,
guarantee
man.
it.
I feel like we could come to regret some
Yeah.
of these things.
One
Well,
of
I mean,
the-
you go to a restaurant nowadays.
You
and
can't
if-
even order from a waitress.
Well, what I was gonna say is like if you have like a toddler or something, and you have parents that aren't equipped to like handle that toddler in public, here's a screen. Watch Netflix.
Very common.
Like here you are in a
Very
restaurant,
common.
like have them plugged into a screen just so they're quiet. We're gonna come to regret a lot of the decisions we're making as parents now, but we're not gonna know what that regret is.
Until you're through it.
Well, we'll start seeing it. We'll start seeing it here because I wasn't handed a screen until I was 16. I grew up in an age where iPads and like all of these things didn't. Maybe when I was 11 or 12, that's when they really boomed. And so it's going to be the children who are 10 years younger than me. So people who are about 20 right now
Yeah.
are really, you're going to start seeing it in this like working class people. And you'll be able to see, which is terrifying, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, there's a generation that went through World War II,
Yes.
and there's a lot of
Is that your gender? What gender? Yeah.
leftovers about World War II. Number one is the idea that women should work, and that's one of the ideas. And because they worked during the war, they built planes and ships and stuff like mostly planes and munitions and stuff like that. So when the war was over, there's this income. Where are they going to get this income? And real estate agents could see that when they're working, there's more income in the family, so they can charge a whole hell of a lot more
For everything.
for everything, mostly for real estate. But but part of that whole thing was the thing of the war was that a limiting of the kind of food that you could get and what you should do with that food and so on. So there was very much of almost a very conservative, but a not capitalist, but socialist picture that was going on there. And in order to change the world's eating habits, the governments are going to have to do some of that. We already do some of it, but we're going to have to do more of it if we're going to have more healthy people. But it's up to the people to decide
I would say we're actively
in a
moving away from
democracy
that.
where they want to be more healthy or not, or whether they want to have a candy bar or an apple, you know. That's the thing that will get left behind, is the freedom to choose. And I don't think we can do that. As far as the 800 million people, that's up to their governments to do something about that. And it's up to us to help if we can help, but it's not up to our government to tell our people how they should eat.
You're right. It has to be something that the people choose, and
The people choosing, yeah, that's the idea of freedom. You get to choose.
and at this point, I'm not certain that the average American feels that is a big enough problem to make any sort of governmental change.
I
Yeah.
would agree with that. You know, we're very wealthy.
Oh, absolutely.
We're
This
very wealthy here.
country is wealthy.
The country is wealthy, and that's why food insecurity is shocking for me.
Even though we're
In-
30-something trillion
Yeah.
dollars in debt.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you know, they say we're wealthy,
We are. I mean, if you look at
but
the
you
way
look
that-
around
yeah.
and you're like, why do we have hungry people?
and
Why do
why,
we have homeless people?
and why do people in other countries live longer and have
why-
better
yeah.
qualities of life?
Well, you know, like there's some Russians that not picking on Russians, but they just
We're picking on.
the landed people that raise potatoes and some vegetables and work every day in their fields and so on, and live to be very, very old people because of what they eat and what they don't eat. I suppose vodka could come into that
Yeah.
somewhere along the line, but
I'm gonna
Potato
have a
vodka.
mind blow for you, but I believe, and this, you're gonna freak out, but maybe not. The FDA is a crooked organization. Period. End of story. Food and Drug and Alcohol Commission, whatever it's called, the FDA can be bought. Can be bought.
Everybody in America can be bought.
And
All our
so when they
politicians.
approve something, if they say FDA approved, I'm just telling you, that ain't all that great.
well, that's an opinion, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
mean-
an
That's an
opinion, isn't it?
That's an opinion.
it's true. The frog or drug
I mean,
or her, is she?
that's a bigger problem because
Yeah.
in America we allow the dollars to put
Sway us.
Sway us. The people that are able to put their thumbs in the scales can do it with dollars.
Yeah.
And as long as capitalism is in government, you're never going to stop that.
Right.
Right? Like you look at the individuals that we vote on for president, like they are taking in huge sums of money
Huge
to
sums.
be able to
Millions
market
and millions
Yeah.
and
their campaign.
donations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not donations.
Same is true with the FDA.
Yeah.
Like if somebody shows up and they want a drug pushed through, they can throw a lot of money at that.
Yeah.
And if they need to turn people, they can buy them off. If
It's
it's
sick.
marketing, like I think I shared, I have to switch my medication for the current medication I'm using is not working, so we're switching it. And they ended up switching me to this thing. They mentioned it, and I know the medication by name because it has been marketed to me and my family
Yep.
for well over a year now, to the point where I mention the medication to my daughter and she's able to sing the jingle that goes along with the medication.
It's on the TV.
That is a scary place to live.
We are the only country that allows that on our TVs.
Yeah. It's
It
crazy.
is, you can be watching a show last night. Mark and I were watching a show, and because of the show we were watching, Humira came up.
Sky Rizzy.
Skyrizi came up. All these things. You watch a different show, and a different set of medications come up.
AbbVie, that's another one. That's
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It is. It is. It's crazy. So,
And,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so shocking.
Well, that's another subject of big pharma and its control over American people.
Oh, we can talk about insurance and big
Yeah,
pharma next
we
week.
should maybe bring that up next time.
I
or
think
something
so.
like that, yeah.
I'll come loaded for that.
She said locked and loaded. I'm ready
I
to
am
come
locked
down.
and loaded for that because it is disgusting to me when I know for a fact that if a doctor prescribes something and they've gone through all the steps, all the training, all the work, and they have landed on, okay, we've checked this box, this box, this box, this box, this box. No, we gotta try this now. And insurance denies it.
Yeah,
Tell me
Well,
that that's right.
there's a bunch of people.
Tell me that's right.
called actuaries who
Yeah, risk assessors.
who try to figure out premiums for insurance, and figuring those premiums out, they have to figure out what's going to be bought and what isn't going to
Yeah.
be bought, and what they'll cover and what not.
bullshit.
You know.
Ooh, we can talk about that next week.
oh
Ooh.
boy.
I'd
Ooh.
like to move on to.
Oh, we're going against something else.
To number 2 here.
Okay.
Okay, but
And,
that's not me. I'm not a douser. I'm a gold panner.
Yeah, you're gonna tell us about dowsing.
She doesn't know about
I
it.
can
She
tell
knows
you
about
about gold panning because that's what I know how to do.
Well, you were telling us about dowsing one day.
No, you were telling us about dousing, and I mistakenly thought you were talking about gold panning. I don't know how to douse.
Do you know how to douse?
I'll have to read up on it. But,
I can tell you about gold panning. Gold panning is fun. You're looking for the gold,
well, gold
as
panning.
as the name says.
Just throw a bunch of mud into a pan and.
No, it's no. It is no.
You are incorrect,
no.
sir.
Yes, but no. You put them. It's a technique, because if you're just shaking it around, you're gonna dump all of it out. You have to systematically move the water over the top layer of dirt so that you are shifting the gold to the bottom of the pan, because the gold is heavier than
How much
the
gold
dirt.
have you found?
Yeah.
I can't talk about that.
Oh,
So
That is a trade
go
secret.
ahead. Yeah.
I think that'd be fun to go gold.
It is fun.
Teach,
and-
teach us how to gold pan. Yeah.
Well, you take the pan and you have to like shake it, and you're like, you have to hold it close to the water, and you have to shift more water in, and then you have to shift it out and shake it as you're going, because you have to you're moving the dirt. It's so hard to show you without a gold pan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do a show on the road sometime. We'll go gold pan.
Then the iron sinks there too with gold. So
Yes. Usually, I mean, it depends on what
iron
you're-
sand. Yeah.
But it depends on, you can, once you get the dirt to just your bottom layer of dirt, you can see the gold. And so
Oh.
then you just shift more of it out, and you move the rock and the gold
Yeah.
apart, and you can kind of if they're bigger pieces, you can just move them with your fingers. If they're more flaky,
I think I would
which
poop my pants if I got gold. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah. We don't
should
have
go
a
gold
creek
panning.
running through here, but
there's,
Here?
you can go anywhere, yeah. Usually mountains are good places, rivers, places that are not as silty, because that comes from glaciers. We can go to the gold mine, and there's a gold mine up the street from my cabin in Alaska. We can go.
Dang.
Or you can go right along the Yukon. There's lots of gold right along the Yukon. You go right across the border in Canada.
You heard it
drive
here
through the
today.
woods.
Stokes Auction Group is going to officially go into gold mining.
We're going mining, folks.
Okay.
That sounds awesome.
all
I'd be
right.
good
All
for
right,
that.
next
Yeah.
week we're going to talk about
Thanks,
big
folks.
pharma.
Thanks for showing us
We'll go gold panning.
or tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Good job, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.